Welcome back to TV5 News at 9. It is time now for our favorite segment. It's Education Matters. We are here with Dr. Craig Douglas. Thank you so much for being here this morning, Dr. Douglas. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Good morning. How are you, Colette?
I'm doing great. I'm so glad to see your face this morning. Okay, Dr. Douglas, another timely topic. We are talking all about planning for college visits. So it seems like it's really never too early to plan for college. Dr. Douglas, how early should students really start thinking about visiting campuses, and when is the best time of year to actually plan a trip?
Yeah, it's a very personal and family-oriented decision, Colette, and I would just say no age is too early. I think that the more comfortable young students can get with college campuses, the better, both local and from afar, so that they gain a sense of confidence while they're on campus and lose that feeling of being overwhelmed. I don't know about you, but the first time I set foot on a big campus, it was at Michigan State University, and I was amazed at the size of the university and that overwhelming feeling. And it dissipated over time, ended up getting my doctorate there. But the point is, any young student who has a curiosity, it's a good opportunity to visit a college campus. And any time of the year is appropriate. I looked at one website, usnews.org, I believe is the correct link. Anyway, they suggested visiting during off-season times, like during holiday breaks or during a spring break on a weekend, just to be able to walk the campus and get a feel for the campus.
That's great tips there. So what should families know before actually arriving on campus, Dr. Douglas?
Well, certainly the cost. If it's an out-of-state trip, I mean, there needs to be, a budget design for transportation and housing costs if they're going to spend the night. If it's a local visit, probably less of a pressure, but having a game plan, planning ahead for that visit is a really important thing. And again, based on the family's preference, do you want to join a large event? Many campuses have Saturday events where they're hosting recruiting opportunities for students to visit, or do you want a more personal, more one-on-one tour? And that can be done through most admission offices. The websites of the universities really have great information to help connect parents and students with opportunities, so really families can customize what they feel most comfortable doing.
I love that. Dr. Douglas, you talked about costs for planning that trip. Now, it's expensive going to college now. What should students and parents consider before even submitting that application? What do they need to know financially about that?
Great question. There's no limit on what they should learn. They should learn all they can. Certainly scholarship opportunities in the region, like the Saginaw Community Foundation, for example, in our region has a wide range of scholarships that students can apply for. Generally, that application process is a January event. I'm not sure of the deadline, but usually it's in February. Look on their website for that detail. But that kind of research in advance about scholarships on a regional basis. And then also at the university. For example, as you know, I was in the College of Ed. We had a number of scholarships designed for teacher preparation students. So look for scholarship opportunities to defray those costs. And then the other thing, and I'm telling you, you know this as a mom, Colette, get those grades up.
That's right.
And be involved with extracurricular and co-curricular and service activities at your school, so you can put forth the best application for any of these scholarships.
That's right. You have one opportunity to make the best impression. That's that first impression. That's great tips there, Dr. Douglas. When we're choosing which colleges to visit, what factors should students really consider in their families?
Well, I'm going to be very candid in my response. I think sometimes parents and students overreach perhaps for that undergraduate degree. I would put on the table this idea, Colette. I would look at colleges and how well they prepare students for post-baccalaureate programs. For example, law schools, med schools, those graduate programs that require more than 4 years. Look at what universities do to help springboard their undergraduates into these programs. I think that's maybe a hidden factor that not everyone thinks of right out of the gate, but that's really a huge cost saver if you can find a connection from undergraduate to postgraduate opportunities to help defray those costs. Share a little bit about my son, Chris. When he graduated from Michigan Tech University, he worked for a year and then he wanted to go to grad school at Michigan State. And he was able to get a grad assistantship, which paid for his tuition and provided him living expenses while he studied for his doctorate degree in economics. That's just one example of a young person connecting undergraduate to postgraduate experiences. That's, I think, a big factor for parents to consider.
That's a great tip, and that's so key, making sure they're prepared for that next step. Dr. Douglas, are there some resources out there that families can check out?
The web's full of them. I mentioned the U.S. News resource. Each university has websites that's full of information. I mentioned the community foundations. They have websites that's full of information. I cited Saginaw, but almost every community has a community foundation. They're great resources. And then I guess finally, and this is maybe stating the obvious, I would talk with counselors and teachers at the high school, find out where previous graduates have gone, what kind of successes they've experienced. I know at Swan Valley, I share with a counselor there stories about kids that have gone to Saginaw Valley and then off to med school and off to other postgrad. These stories, these experiences can be shared, and we can learn a lot from them.
Well, I have to say, my kids are already getting a head start. They both know they're already going to University of Michigan in Ann Arbor, and we go on college visits there all the time. So thank you so much, Dr. Douglas, for your tips today. We appreciate you, as always. Thank you.
Go Blue.
Yes, go Blue. You as well, Dr. Douglas. Thank you so much for calling in. For more information about today's topic, check out the school source page. That's at WNEM.com.